Peace and blessings to you and yours from the Office of the Vice President, Division of Research here at Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. A little hoarse, but you know we're pressing forward because we have much to do as it relates to what's happening that's fundamentally sound from a research perspective in the internationally renowned School of Business and Industry. Many of you in our viewing audience remember the Dean Sybil Mobley who didn't take no stuff, so much so as a student I recall where corporate jets would literally just come in and swoop her up to take her to this country and another. Well, the more things change, the more things stay the same. I'm O.S. Lamar Sheffield now, but here with me for the new, if you will, generation next and now of the 21st century and beyond, SBI, is a distinguished professor who we chatted during the faculty planning conference a few months ago, and who knew that he would be here on the set today, taking a break from his marketing courses as a professor in that discipline and doing all kinds of things with committees and student groups and presenting internationally. And I'm exhausted just to interview and to really welcome to the set of TV20 Dr. Roscoe Hightower. Thank you for being here today.
You're welcome.
I'm excited because right next to you, a young lady who was like already here in the J School when we arrived. I say, am I that late? But we thankful and are very thankful rather for a young lady who is switched, so to speak, as it relates to being a senior, I'm understanding, from the School of Business and Industry, but now in this whole area of facilities management, which is most of our focus today. And in the person all the way from Pasadena, California, we have here with us now the very, shall we say, multifarious in terms of her talent, her time, and her treasure, Shahani Wong. Thank you for being here as well.
Thank you.
And I say all of that to rest my hoarseness now and ask you, Dr. Hightower, tell us a little bit about yourself as a son of the soil, back now as a professor here at FAMU's SBI, and really about this facilities management program and how it ties in with SBI.
Okay, well, thank you. Again, it's our pleasure to be here today. And my background is short and sweet. I'm a graduate of the School of Business and Industry. I graduated with an undergraduate degree in 1988, an MBA in 1989, and left, as we all did, and took a job with the IBM company. And that was fine. I love Big Blue and still a stockholder, but I had a calling to get into teaching. So I went back to school, got my PhD, and went out and took another job initially, and eventually in 2000 came back to A&M. And I've been back at A&M since 2000 in the School of Business and Industry. And what we've been doing is day-to-day working, trying to make the place better. And I think we're doing that. And I think we have a lot of good things to talk about, especially this new major that just got started this August. So August 2012, we have a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with a program major in Facilities Management. Now that's powerful, and I'm really, really excited about what we can do with that degree.
And it speaks highly, if you will, Dr. Hightower and Shahani, as it relates to we in the research division, as it were, with Dr. K. Ken Retta as our interim vice president, and in terms of what the university is all about, instruction, research, and public service, about collaboration, because it's my understanding that this marries, if you will, the School of Business and Industry and the School of Architecture to that extent. But how, in fact, did you, from Pasadena, California, get to facilities management?
Well, actually, initially I came to FAMU because I knew about SBI. I knew about the School of Business and Industry. We have alumni everywhere, and you know it speaks highly. Like you can go and you can go straight across to SBI right now and see the big board. I was interested because I wanted to be a polished individual when I graduated and be able to have dialogue with these CEOs and whoever else comes to visit us at FAMU. But now that we have this opportunity, which is facilities management, it's a growing field. And there is a lot of opportunity for growth. Even when you graduate, there is still, just with your bachelor's, you can come out, you can find different certifications that you can obtain. So I think to be able to graduate and have a defined I guess, job title and be able to make an impact on the world is really important.
It does sound very specific and very concrete. So, Dr. Hightower, we're very interested in the research that went into, to get to this program. Or did it just pop up overnight? You know how easy it is to get something added to the curriculum here at FAMU?
No, and that's an excellent question, especially dovetailing off what Shahani has told us. The program started really about 3 years ago now. Dean Friday Stroud brought an industry consultant in to speak with faculty. And at that time, people like myself who were very busy with our day-to-day, I can say I didn't know much about the facilities management profession. Well, about 10 minutes into this gentleman's presentation, I knew I was in. And the interesting thing about it is that they were talking about a complete industry that I had spent my entire marketing professional career attempting to break into. So I knew when he left that I was sold. We were going to have a degree program one way or another. But the dean gave me the ability to go do my research, which I immediately joined the organization, and also had a chance to go over to the architecture school. And let's be clear here. This program on FAMU's campus, when it started, it involved the School of Business and Industry, the School of Architecture, and at that time, the College of Engineering, Science, and Technology from a construction management perspective. But we've changed, the university has changed, so the actual degree program is now offered through SBI and collaboration with the School of Architecture that now houses the construction management major, or what's left of the construction management program within the School of Architecture. And so long story short, what that means is that we've been working with this organization called IFMA, which is the International Facilities Management Association, which is the largest professional organization of facilities managers in the world. Right now, there are about 23,000 members in that organization, and we've been collaborating and working with them for the last 2.5 years to create an undergraduate curriculum. The neat thing about that curriculum is that the end game is to apply for accreditation, which we've done. This July, we've applied for accreditation from the professional organization, and the outcome is that we can join. There are only 22 programs in the world that have this accreditation, and we're excited about the possibilities of us actually meeting all the standards that they require such that we can become accredited as well, which is a game changer.
Indeed, and I'm thinking, because I'm looking at Shahani here, a senior, but at the same time, kind of on the beginning, if you will, the transition as it relates to how this is going to be a full bona fide program that those who will come after you, they'll be following you as a history maker, so to speak. And what do you intend to do once you, get this undergirding as relates to facilities management being a focus of your acumen that you've already developed and are developing in the School of Business and Industry?
Well, what I think is important is that with SBI, they are going to mold you to make sure that you understand the broad spectrum of business administration itself. Now, with partnering with the School of Architecture, you're looking at different things, like you're looking at drafting, you're looking at, I guess, companies as it pertains to architecture and just those fundamentals. So being able to come out and now apply both my business savvy skills with knowledge of how things are supposed to be as any criteria related to architecture. I think that makes me a much more well-rounded and diversified individual.
Very marketable, as it were.
Definitely.
And indeed, that being your area as it relates to services, and when you think recreation and transportation, et cetera. I mean, for our viewing audience, and myself included, because I'm thinking of facilities management being as simple as, okay, we're here in the FAMU TV20 studio, and this is an area that needs to be maintained so that you all can sit on these bright, hot lights, and we can get a program that's quality for Florida A&M University. But would you help us grab hold of what do we mean, Dr. Hightower, by facilities management?
Again, another excellent question. Facilities management, as defined by IFMA, deals with a multidiscipline. That's what's key. There are 7,000 different job types within the broad multidiscipline area. So it's the management of this multidiscipline profession that's focused on the built environment. And when we talk about the built environment, we're talking about people, processes, and technology that go into an establishment. Okay. So long story short, facilities management deals with managing or operating or leveraging the investment that most entities, be they public or private, have. Someone somewhere has some type of brick and mortar. And facilities managers generally are very proficient in not only the day-to-day, as you were mentioning about setting up the studio, but there's a business side to all of that. And so that's the finance, management, marketing, leadership skills, communication skills, emergency preparedness, information technology, and all those type things that are in a standard facilities manager's bag.
And Shahani's going to have all this.
And that's what she's not only going to have, because just to lay it out for you, I mentioned earlier we're in the application process for accreditation. Right. Shahani is scheduled, if everything goes well, to graduate sometime in 2013. The thing about it is, hopefully we'll know by first week or so in November how successful we were in this first leg of the accreditation process. And so we have big plans for the program. One of them is to obtain provisional and then full accreditation. And people like Shahani, and I believe we'll have a chance to speak with Mr. Bell a little bit later, but part of the process of getting full accreditation are producing graduates. So we need her and people like Dominic to finish the program. So she's not going to be a late bloomer. She is a bloomer. Yeah. So we're dependent on people like her, and we'll meet Mr. Bailey, I hope, a little bit later.
Absolutely. Sometimes the hardest part is getting started, but now that you're in it to win it, Shahani, you alluded earlier to the big board of SBI, and those many FAMUans are familiar with it, but can you see you there on the big board one day?
I think it's really exciting to think about things like that because we are the pioneers. This is new to FAMU, and it's new to not only America, but, you know, things that are going on internationally. Like Dr. Hightower mentioned earlier, there are only 22 schools that are offering the major, and there's a limited amount that are offering, you know, any furthering education. So to be the pioneers that are bringing this to FAMU, you know, it's really important. So to see myself up there, I'm going to humble myself and just let me get to that finish line first, but it's really exciting. Indeed.
Well, you know what we think about, we bring about, and we're going to bring more new and exciting things from the School of Business and Industry when we continue facilities management. It's all about research fundamentals. Thanks for watching. Stay right where you are. We'll be right back.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
Stronger, healthier babies. It's what the March of Dimes is all about. Learn more about healthy babies at marchofdimesbaby.org.
And thank you for staying with us. Research Fundamentals continues from the internationally renowned School of Business and Industry. And I was talking with the marketing professor extraordinaire, Dr. Roscoe Hightower, and he was proud Papa talk about his cheering, as it were, in terms of the fruit of his labor. Literally, he and his colleagues there are joining him now as a young man that I have come to know, Dr. Hightower, because he is dutiful, I tell you, to get me to class on time every Tuesday and Thursday. But today, I want to thank you, Dominique J. Khalil Bailey, for being here with us as it relates to where you are with this facilities management program. So thank you for joining us for this segment.
Thank you, and I appreciate the invitation.
Indeed. Just tell us a bit about you, Dominique, and how you got interested in facilities management and where you're headed, a bit of your background.
Well, I am Dominic J. Khalil Bailey from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I am a fifth-year business administration student, and I chose facilities management once it was brought to my attention because I, hopefully, come May 4th, 2013, will be a graduate of the FAMU School of Business and Industry, and I will be a quartermaster officer. Being a quartermaster officer aligns very well with facilities management because I'll be over waste treatment, waste management, water, petroleum, different things of that nature, which allow me to understand from the ground floor what it takes to make sure that my soldiers are good to go and what it takes to make sure that the unit is good to go. Along with facilities management, it's the same thing. What will make us, the company A, good to go, ready to open our doors, ready to have our patrons happy and willing to come back. So when it was brought to me saying, hey, this is what we're going to do, this is what we want to do, the Lord in His infinite wisdom allowed me to jump in and continue going and progressing with my degree.
Indeed. Well, Dr. Hightower, that just makes me want to say, to whom much is given, much is required, and obviously expected here with your protege, as it were. But, think about young men like Dominique coming through the pipeline of SBI. Again, what would kind of steer them in the direction of facilities management as not only a part of ROTC, but perhaps inculcating some other values that they bring to the table?
Well, the thing that's great about facilities management as a major is some factual information. We offer, Florida A&M University will offer the only accredited facilities management major in the state of Florida, period.
Out of the entire state university system, barring none.
Everybody. We also are the only HBCU in the world to offer the facilities management major. That's off top. Now, when you talk about things like employment opportunities, we get this data from the industry, but the industry is at a point now, Ms. Wong mentioned earlier about 50,000 jobs being unfilled now. Well, the median age of a facilities manager is 55 years old. And that tells you that in about 10 years or so, that there's going to be, and continue to be for the next 20 years, significant attrition within the industry and a potential loss or risk of loss of institutional knowledge that the current 55-year-olds have. The people in the industry have an active sense of urgency to try and meet or fix, prevent these gaps from opening in their workforce. So what we've done at School of Business and Industry and the School of Architecture, FAMU proper, is started to invest in areas where jobs will be. These young people, as part of their curriculum, are going to have 2 internships in facilities management in order to graduate. That just starts the clock a little sooner on their professional development skills that are going to make them very, very valuable, as you mentioned earlier, to their potential employees.
Because you either pay now or pay later.
But you're going to pay. And when the young people are considering where they should want to go to school, I would ask you to fact check everything you see on this show, fact check IFMA as an organization, and fact check the 125-year history of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. We add into that the School of Architecture and the School of Business and Industry, and I start to see a winning solution at FAMU.
Indeed, it's a win-win because I'm even thinking as you're speaking as relates to the interim dean for the School of Architecture, Andrew Chin, who could not be here with us today. But from that same school now has come a person in the person of Rodner Wright, who is the interim provost and vice president for academic affairs, which is showing that him coming from the Dean's Council with SBI's Dean Shante Friday Stroud, that evidently there is something to be said about these two disciplines, you know, peacefully coexisting, if you will. And Dominique, it makes me ask you, you know, I know that you are a go-getter. I've seen that in the brief time that I've come to know you. Tell us a bit about your internship opportunities that you have had and that you're even considering now as it relates to facilities management.
I thank you again. For me, the September 26th was actually the career fair. On this date, I took my time and I went and spoke to different companies and I expressed myself and I let them know that FAMU is on the cutting edge now, and being that at first HBCU, as Dr. Hightower did state, and the first school in Florida to have facilities management. Between that date and today, I've had ample emails, ample callbacks, interview 1, interview 2, because it's very true that of the 50,000 jobs that are reported, I'm sure, and this is not factual, but I'm sure that there are probably another 20,000 that are already about to be open within the next year, 2 years, or 20,000 just ready to be created. So I just feel that this new cutting edge degree and being that FAMU SBI, FAMU Architecture are coming together, collaborating and creating this and helping students have a new degree to facet to endeavor, it was wonderful. I've had 6 to 7 callbacks alone just say, hey, we want you to remember that we are interested in you come graduation. So they want me to remember them. It was more so than me remember them. Wow. Them remember me. It's like, hey, Disney, we want you a part of the team come graduation. We want to follow up with you, Aerotech, Target. I was like, I felt good that although I am a senior, I'm a military candidate, that these companies are wanting to take the time to call me, email me, and they've been persistent. So it makes me feel good that this new degree will help many students find job placement, will help many people in the industry itself come to terms with, okay, I want to be a businessman, but what do I want to do? I like to do real estate, but what do I want to do? So facilities management says, hey, this is what you do. You do real estate, you'll do acquisition, you'll do site planning. It gives you so many different things to try that now it gives you a feeder to say, okay, facilities management is where I want to be. I want to be in facilities. I want to work for this company. They're always hiring.
Dr. Hightower, clearly your labor is not in vain, and we're going to talk a bit more about that because when we come back with the next segment, we want to, of course, keep Dominique here, but I heard about humility from Shahani when she was here, and I know when we humble ourselves, we're exalted in due time, and so it is here on the set of FAMU TV20 in this episode of Research Fundamentals. Yes, SBI, SOA, it's your way here today. Thanks so much for watching. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Here we go. What? What?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent, because kids in foster care don't need perfection. They need you.
Someone has to be first, and here when we think about research at FAMU, STEM, social behavioral sciences, higher education, ad nauseum, ad infinitum. Dr. Hightower, you look like a proud papa over there with your children, Shahani, and of course Dominique here. Talk about humility. You get to work with these young people every day, just a not typical day, but just a week or just a moment in the life of you as relates to the committees you serve on in SBI, working between accreditation for that institution, having, the focus groups. Just give us a little nutshell, please, sir.
Well, it's challenging. It's definitely rigorous. It definitely takes a lot of time, but I'm lucky and blessed because I get to do something that I don't call it work. When I'm here, I get to see what comes of these efforts, and I get to see the young people get placed, get internships, have successes that are their dreams. And that's just a blessing to be able to help other people get where they're going. And we've been able to do that. And what I wanted to share with people is that it's not just the student interaction, but in order to interact appropriately with students, faculty has to go do research, faculty has to go engage in professional development, faculty has to do time in order to learn about facilities management or to learn about something that they don't know about or that they need to improve their skill sets in. So for me, in addition to interacting with the young people, we often have to go and do research for peer-reviewed journal articles. And then for me, getting into facilities management, marketing is only so big, but it's time to go out and exploit other fields. So recently I've been trying to get into construction type journals. I've been trying to get into facilities management type journals. And you had mentioned earlier, we had an opportunity a year or so ago to participate in some international type facilities management, the 4th annual University of Vienna conference. So it just helps me to be able to get out and research and try and know what there is to know, make the connections that one must make in order to bring it back to the classroom. Because these young people have to know and have to be in touch with the best, and not the best because I say it's the best, but it's the best because that's what the world demands and requires. And so that's what just keeps me and my colleagues running. It's the same thing in the School of Architecture, and I hate that those gentlemen couldn't be here today, but and there are a number of dedicated faculty that are here that time in and time out, in addition to the regular teaching, research, and service, which we do, we are heavily invested in these young people.
Absolutely, and the investment is paying dividend on top of dividend, and we're going to speak to that in our closing when we come right back because, yeah, Dominic, we're going to hear from you one more time, but you stay right where you are. We'll be right back. SBI, SOA got it going on. Research Fundamentals today. Thanks for watching.
You ever think about buying a bigger place?
Just waiting for a visit from the credit fairy.
There is no credit fairy.
How else will I get a better credit score?
Look, you keep your credit card balances low and only open a new card if you really need it.
No fairy?
There's no magic to improving your credit, but there's help, and it's free. Go to creditfairy.org.
From FAMU's Career Center to the School of Business and Industry to the School of Architecture to here, FAMU TV20 studio. Dominique, tell us more in terms of how can someone else become someone like you, the initiate, if you will, of this bachelor's program contact?
The best thing to do is to go onto the FAMU SBI website under programs, and they'll have the curriculum. You can look through the curriculum and it'll tell you what classes to take, what classes they want you to take, and you look through it and figure out, do I like this? Do I want to endeavor and take the opportunity to have to do the 2 internships and the design classes and the site classes? Because once you endeavor to do such, the world is your oyster. You honestly will be the best thing out of FAMU.
And Dr. Hightower, I know that's a just strong marketing point, but closing thoughts from you regarding?
Closing thoughts is that we started this program with great leaders, Dean Shante Friday-Stroud and Dean Rodner Wright, Ron Lumpkin, and a whole host of other people. But we started the program in order to be #1. And that's our objective. We're learning, we're researching, we're traveling, and we aim to be the best facilities management undergraduate program because we have to bring us back. There's a Master's of Science in Architecture just waiting to be unleashed. Again, there's no other institution that has an undergraduate and a master's program, and we are ready to engage and win.
In the inimitable words of Dr. Frederick Stephen Humphreys during our recent convocation for Founders 125, FAMU yesterday, today, forever, and greater. And you can find out again more about these programs as indicated. For your show ideas, contact me, os.lamar@famu.edu, or call 850-412-7936. Until then, we are obviously building research capacity through collaboration. Thanks so much for watching. Peace and blessings to you and yours.